Yes, am I audible? And my screen is visible to all of you, students who are online?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So let's start our today's lecture. Till now, we have discussed various measures, or you can say various terminologies, which are used for machine learning. So today we will start discussion with the data set. So before jumping on to training part, okay, we should have very clear and cut idea about data, whatever data we people are using for training purpose. So first of all, let's start that how many types of data sets are there. Okay, so these are the very general type of data set. Okay, like record, graph and network. Then you can say images are there and ordered data set. So in many cases, it will be classified into structured data set, non-structured, okay, or unstructured, and you can say semi-structured. Okay, so in structured data will be very well formatted, you can say processed, and it will be ready to use. Okay, in semi-structured, it will be like some of the attributes some of the attributes may have some missing value or outliers, or data need to be smooth. Okay, so that is a semi-structured, but some of the attributes will be good. But in case of unstructured data, everything is unknown. Okay, so you don't have any idea about, let's say, data. For example, if you are getting if you are getting supermarket data, okay, then field like name, then mobile number, then age. Okay, all these details may not be correct. Okay, so the transaction details are correct, but this personal identity, let's say if you want to establish a relationship between age and types of the item which are bought by those age group people, then the correct age is required. Okay. So in that case, what will happen? Your model will be trained inappropriately, and it may result into, let's say, undesired accuracy from the model. So uh, these are the basic type of data set: record, graph and network, ordered, spatial image, and multimedia. Okay, so what is record? Whatever you people are storing in database. Okay, so whatever we have discussed in previous semester in form of, you can say CSV file. Okay, so those are the example of record where we will have attribute and features. Okay, so attribute means column name and feature means the value of that particular attribute. Data metrics like numerical metrics or cross table or document data like text document, frequency vector. So this what is frequency count and all these things. This terminology we will see in this presentation or in this lecture only. And transaction data. Transaction data means whatever we are purchasing. Let's say if you are making any online payment, so that transaction data, which items you people are buying, so that is also a kind of transaction data. So record means in form of table where we will have where we will have attribute and you can say tuple. Okay, so column name and cell values. Let's move forward. Next is graph data. Okay, so graph and network data. So let's say you are mining, you are just trying to create an machine learning algorithm for finding the best route. Okay, so in that case, you have to how you will represent the path. So the path you will represent using graph. Okay, so if you are training different kind of path, you are training the model using different kind of path. Then at that time, the data will be in form of graph. Okay. Now, most of time, this graph and network data will be in form of matrix. It will be in form of matrix, and we will have two type of data: dense data and sparse data. Okay. So, in I think you people have studied dense matrix and sparse matrix in data structure. Okay. So, whenever number of, let's say, available value is approximately, it is limited to 5 or 10%. So, let's out of 100, let's say in 10 by 10 matrix, only 5 or 7 values are present, then we will call it as a sparse matrix. Okay, and in more than 90 values are present, then we will call it dense matrix. Okay, because maximum number of elements are present. So graph data will be presented like that. Let's say DNA, if you want to store the data of DNA, then the DNA pattern and all this thing, it will be also stored in graph kind of structure, then molecular structure. I think in physics, if people have studied that molecular structure of salt, carbon. Okay, so if you want to store that kind of data, then you have to go with the graph. Next is ordered data. Okay, so in ordered data, some example like let's say temporal data, or you can say time series data. So if you want to see the movement of let's say security exchange, SEBI, Sensex. Okay, so if you want to know the movement of Sensex, then we cannot observe the movement by looking at the current value of index. Okay, so for that we have to use the time frame. Let's say if I want to see the current value, if I want to know the movement of Sensex, then I will observe the data from morning, and then I can see that there is with respect to morning, Sensex is at lower position, or it is at higher position, or it is maintaining the position likewise. So time series data, then video data. So video data, sequence of data is this data will be like let me give you a very clear example. You are training neural network. You train a neural network. Okay, and then you want to detect object from video. Okay, you train the network, but using that trained network, you want to detect object from video. Okay, so what you will do, you will convert video into images, and then that image you will feed to the neural network, and then neural network will give you data. Okay, so time series data can be mixed with video data. Let's say if I am working on a machine learning project of deforestation, okay, or let's say reforestation, or deforestation, then on the regular interval basis, I have to take the satellite images of that area, okay, and that sequential images will be mapped with the time series data, and then we can predict. Sequential data, like let's say transaction sequences and genetic sequences, genetic sequence data. Very hardly you people are going to work on last two part. Last part, genetic sequence data, or let's say bioscience. Where if you are going to work in bioscience, then you will be working on this. And last one is partial. Yes. Confidence. That is confidence is part of let's say. In precision. So confidence, it is part of this terminology, is part of rule association mining. It is part of rule association mining. Okay, so we will see. It is not actually part of your syllabus, but we will discuss what is confidence. Confidence means observed output. Sorry, observed input, not output, but observed input. Okay, so if you are training one model multiple times, then
like someone types, you will type I am great for about you. Then it will show confidence 0.90. So it is good or bad? 0.9.
0.9, that is confidence. 0.09. 0.9, that is means 90% confidence. Okay, and 0.09 means 9%. Yes. Yes. Most of the time, what will happen? The output of this algorithm you will get in form in the range of 0 to 1. So that then you multiply, you scale it. You will multiply it by 100, and then you will get the percentage. Partial data. So here you can see here also they have mentioned image and multimedia. So spatial data means multi-dimensional image. Now, yes, you people are hearing this word for first time, multi-dimensional image. whenever satellite will take picture, okay, you will get a 3D image. You will get a 3D image. You have to separate. You have to apply bandwidth filter on image. Then you will get different spectrum image. Okay, for example, thermal image. Okay, for example, you can say night vision image. For example, water sensing, water reservoir or particular spectrum image, RGB spectrum image, ultraviolet spectrum image. So satellite will give you data in form of cube for each image. Okay, and then you have to apply bandwidth filter on it, and you will have different image. Okay, so spatial data means multi-dimensional data. If I will give you, let's say, 100 image of, let's say, satellite, then it will be around 40 or 45 GB. Yes, only for 10 GB. Okay, and ISRO and all these organizations are working on this. It is known as stream mining. Stream mining. Okay, satellite will stream the data from satellite to data center. Yes, extracting something. But when you will extract it, whenever you have trained it very well. Bitcoin mining is, let me tell you, Bitcoin is on the principle of hash function. Yes, cryptography. Okay. You will be getting a sequence of number. Okay, in such a way that I think for that value, none of the other combination involved is generating that same sequence. It is something like, rather than large mathematical problem, it is large mathematical space. Okay, and from that space, you will find that pattern. Okay, and that pattern is known as Bitcoin. Okay, and that's why people are using very huge amount of CPU and GPUs to explore that mathematical space, to get that sequence. Okay, Bitcoin is an application of blockchain. Okay, so if you want to understand Bitcoin very well, then you should be sound with the blockchain, because blockchain is Bitcoin is application of blockchain. Okay, nowadays they have introduced blockchain into corporate as well. Okay, so if you will learn this technology, then you will have a very bright future. Yes. So now we forget about this simple web development, all these things. Okay, if you want to earn a good salary, then learn high performance computing, learn Julia programming, learn let's say GPU computing. That is CUDA. So that is HPC. OpenSSE is there. Then you go with blockchain. Okay, so you try with this approach. Definitely, you will struggle a lot at initial stage. Okay, but whenever that technology will become mature, at that time you will have sufficient experience to work at higher position. So if you want to start, you should start right now. Yes. Which are the important characteristics of data? Okay, now we have to understand the terminology. Okay, at least rather than understanding, I have told you terminologies, that this kind of words will be there whenever we will try to measure the performance of any model. Okay, now let's try to understand the data. So which are the important characteristics of data? First one is dimensionality. Dimensionality means number of attributes in your data set. Okay, now if you want to know your algorithm, okay, then you should train your algorithm with various data set. Various data set means various dimensionality along with various data type. Okay, now everything will be, from here onwards, everything will be subjective. Okay, till now you people were habitual of let's say specific thing. Okay, like let's say yes or no, or if this is a scenario, then this thing will work. Forget about that thing. Okay, from now onwards, everything will be subjective. Subjective means a answer for each problem will depends on the scenario. That what is the input you are giving. Okay, so machine learning is purely subjective. It is nothing objective. Okay, like let's say you cannot say that if we apply this algorithm on this data set, then every time we will get 100% accuracy. Okay, not at all. In today's morning lab session only we have seen that. Okay, that if we are having processed data, then we will get 96 or 98% accuracy. Okay, but if you will go with any raw data, then you will get accuracy up to 25 or 30. So you have to be means now onwards, whatever you have learned, you have to think that how you are going to use it. So first part is dimensionality, number of attributes. Okay, and that is disadvantage also, curse of dimensionality. If you will increase dimensionality, that means you are bringing your data into higher dimension. You are bringing your data into higher dimension. Now, what is ultimate purpose? What you will do? What your training or your model will do at the end? At the end, your model will find out a boundary. Okay, the ultimate and sole purpose of machine learning is to find out the boundary. It is to find out the boundary. Okay, boundary between a variable of different class or objects of different class. So, larger the number of dimension, you will bring data into higher dimension. Very simple. 2-dimension x and y. 3-dimension x, y, z that we can visualize. Now, number of attributes are 4040. Then 40-dimension. That is known as hyperdimension. Okay, so you people are bringing your data into hyperdimension, and then you will make it separable. You will try to find out a boundary. Sparsity. So only presence counts. So this is again which I told you that if I will give you data of 100 GB and out of that 100 GB data only 2 GB data is meaningful. Rest of the data is null or missing value or replaced data, and how you will deal with that problem. Okay, so sparsity means density of data. Next is resolution. Resolution means your focus area. What is the resolution of data? Okay, we will see this in detail. Don't worry. Okay, I'm just introducing you people to the terminologies of machine learning. Distribution. How your data is distributed. One of the best example today in morning session, lab session, and in yesterday lab session we have seen. If we increase the number of neighbor, then gradually accuracy will increase. Okay, but after some point, it will decrease. Okay, you cannot predict. Okay, why? Because you don't know that how data is distributed in mathematical feature space. Okay, so all these things you have to imagine. Okay, from now onwards, your imagination power will be more helpful to you in learning this subject. So distribution. So these are the most important characteristics: dimensionality, sparsity means density of data, resolution, and distribution. That how well data is distributed in your feature space. Okay, if it is very dense in feature space, okay, let's say we are representing 100 sample, okay, in radius of 1 centimeter square sphere. Okay, if you people can visualize, okay, that we are storing, we are packing 100 sample in area, or you can say in volume of 1 centimeter square, 1 centimeter radius sphere. Okay, now in that same sphere, if I am putting 1 lakh object, okay, then in which case data will be more separable. In first case, why? Because yes, space is more compared to samples or data. But in second case, what will happen? Space is very less. Okay, so distribution will play a very key role. Okay, if your data is very sparse, it is very separated, then it will be very easy for you to classify. Yes, anybody is having any doubt till now, whatever we have discussed? Let's move forward. Attribute. What you call attribute? A data field representing the characteristics or feature of data object. Okay, I think I have explained you that if I ask you that what are the attributes of fruit? Taste, color, shape, size, yes, smell, yes. So these are the attributes of fruit. Okay. Now if I will, you just imagine wherever you people are sitting, whether in class or in online session, if I will tell you mango, okay, then all of a sudden you will visualize that thing, that orange color, then there will be a very huge bit inside the mango, sweet, or you can say tangy juice, mango juice. Okay. So these all are the attribute of mango. Now, how many types of attributes are there? So nominal, binary, and numeric. So what is nominal? Nominal means label. Nominal means label. So whatever label we are giving, that is nominal. For example, this is bench, this is chair. Okay, so let's say this is apple, this is mango, this is spoon. Okay, this is laptop. Yes, yes. Something which will label using string, not using number. Okay, that is the example of nominal. Categorical, nominal, and then categorical. That we will see in next slide. Binary, 0 or 1, true or false. Okay, so in binary we can have only two class label. Okay, so whenever you will do the classification, whenever we will learn classification, at that time we will see that there is multi-class classification and binary classification. But multi-class is a, you can say, type of binary classification. In multi-class, one against all. Okay, so if you are having three class, then one against two and three, then training for two against one and three, and then three against one and two. So in multi-class, we will have different approach. So that is binary. Last one is numeric. So in numeric, we will have two, interval scale and ratio scale. Let's try to see that what is interval scale and what is ratio scale. Can anyone give me the example of interval scale? Yes. So there will be interval. What is ratio scale? It's kind of continuous value. It's kind of continuous value. That I will show you. Nominal. So this is what we have discussed. Nominal attribute means where we are putting label using string. Here I have taken the example of hair color. Auburn, black, blonde, brown, gray, red, white. Okay. Marital status, then occupation, ID numbers, zip codes. Okay, now zip code is numbered. Married or unmarried. If yeah. Yes, divorcee, widow. Okay, so lots of options. Huh. Yes, it depends. That whatever you told, that is you are creating a hierarchy. You are creating hierarchy. First input you will categorize into married or unmarried. Okay, then unmarried you will further classify into let's say divorced, widowed, or unmarried. That whatever you consider. But the whatever you are giving example, that is simply you are creating hierarchy. You are creating tree. Okay, so those kind of attribute will create problem, specifically in machine learning. Okay, so it is always advisable to keep the attribute simple rather than hierarchical. Next is binary. So nominal attribute with only two value, 0 or 1. Okay. No, in gender also male, female, transgender. Now government has officially recognized them. So symmetric binary means both outcomes are equally important, like gender. Okay, here they have given the example in gender. Okay, but now gender. Previously it was yes. Yes. Concept will remain old. Okay, but gradually what will happen? Why it is you can say binary? Because in previous system where they implemented this machine learning and all this kind of technique, wherever they were taking input from the user, so majority of input was on male and female. Okay, but now government has given the recognition. So now wherever gender is used as a binary attribute, it should be yes, yes. Yes, we can say corona report positive or negative, or let's say diabetes sugar is present or not. Okay. Oh, now, how doctor are treating corona? If it is, let's say, in case of CT scan or MRI, if a damage is up to 20%, then they will treat it normally. Okay, but if damage is beyond 60, then they are treating it as an official corona. Patient needs some treatment. Okay, yes, there will be hierarchical. Okay, one of the good example of let's say binary is AM and PM. Anti-medical and yeah,
So sorry for that.
yeah.
It is like when the case is of asymmetric binary, so that we can't directly assign 0 or 1 to the attribute type, right? So how will the computer how will we will reach to a decision that for which we have to assign 1 and for which we have to assign 0?
No, we let me tell you, these are the attribute. We are not going to generate this. Rajul, we are not going to generate it, but we are going to perform the analysis and then we will come to the decision. Then we will come to the conclusion that this
So just
attribute
like
is
for
nominal.
example, okay,
Let me give one example. Let's say in case of gender, okay, so we can say that 50 percentage or around 60-50, or we can say that as per definition either there can be male or there can be female. Okay, and both are having equal probability. Both are having equal probability. Okay, but in case of medical test, the result of the test will be dependent on several parameters. Like patient is having cough, patient is having fever, patient is having cold, patient is
like
having,
so depending on the
sorry.
हाँ सर दैट विल बी एक्चुअली डिपेंडेंट कि हम चेक क्या कर रहे हैं वो कुछ पॉजिटिव होंगे कुछ नेगेटिव होंगे ऐसा.
So in symmetric binary, what will happen? Let me tell you that outcome it won't be dependent on other features. Are you getting? Like let's say gender. Gender is not dependent on it is not dependent on any feature.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. While here medical test. Okay. Medical test is dependent on multiple features. So when your column is, let's say, it is having binary value. Okay. Now let's say if we in past we have seen the diabetes data set. In Python we have worked with the diabetes data set, and there was one column called death. Yes, there was one column called death. It was having binary value 0 or 1. Means 0 means not death and 1 means death. Okay, but that is asymmetric binary. Why? Because that death event was dependent on multiple attributes. Clear, Pranjul?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay. So symmetric with respect to probability, we will show that either it will be male or it will be female. Okay, but in case of asymmetricity, that output will be dependent on multiple parameters. There is not any direct relationship. Next is ordinal. Ordinal attribute. So values have meaningful order, but magnitude between successive value is not known, or it is subjective. It is not known, or we can say subjective. For example, size. Small, medium, and large. Okay. Now, small, medium, and large. Let's say if you are living in planet of giants. Okay, if you are living in planet of giants, then what will be the small, medium, and large? Small will be no in their world, in world of giant. Okay, in world of giant, let's say 2 or 3 floor height. That person is small. 3 or 4 floor height, medium, and 5 floor height, large. Okay. In our world, 6 or 6 feet beyond, large. 5 and 6 feet, medium, and beyond 5, small. Yes. So here in ordinal attribute there will be order, okay, but range of that order will be subjective. It may change from data set to data set or scenario to scenario. Okay, still we are observing, we are just trying to understand the data. Okay, we have not started with machine learning. Because once we are done with all these things, pre-processing and understanding the data, okay, then believe me, your machine learning task or machine learning effort will be reduced to 20%. Okay, then you have to focus on only tuning the algorithm, tuning the machine learning algorithm. Okay, but these steps are most important. Now, where you will find this terminology, nominal, binary, and ordinal. Now, if you will go to Kaggle, okay, and in Kaggle, if you will look at the dataset description, there you will find this terminology. Okay, so we can say now officially we are moving or we are entering into the, yes, not Kaggle, but in machine learning or data science. Let's see the numeric attribute type. Interval and ratio. So interval, it is measured on a scale of equal size units, and ratio inherent 0 point. Now you people tell me, you people are going to tell me the difference because I have given you the description, I have given you the example. I want you people to understand and answer me. And yes, please give me answer. That what do you mean by interval and what do you mean by ratio? Yeah.
Between 5 to 6 feet or 10 feet, ratio is suppose we want to compare richness. Then we can set a base standard, like suppose 1 crore is rich, for example. Then we can compare everyone based on if I is 2 times as rich. Or more applicable example, the sizes of suns. we compare it to R like generally when they are comparing like 4m, then m stands for the mass of R so that would become in ratio like 4m, 4.2m.
I want you people to read the content properly. That's why I have put example. Otherwise, I have put otherwise I have mentioned only interval and ratio. What they want to say in interval?
Measurement is taken based on unit, like Celsius or Fahrenheit. Then it will come in interval. And if the measurement is taken in the numeric form, or like we can speak out the measurement, so it will be in ratio.
It will be in ratio form. What they have mentioned in ratio? Inherent? Yes, and it is not like only I'm asking this question to class people. Okay, any person who is from class or attending session online, they can involve in this. Yeah.
Interval is based on addition. Like those units are like suppose we say 4 degrees Celsius and 8 degrees Celsius. So we have to add 4 to that. So the unit size would be similar, like difference of 1 we can say. But in ratio, the unit size won't be equal. It will be multiplying. Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, these are intervals with a gap of
ratio minor even or every you know.
Yes. Let me tell you very simply. Interval means we can have negative value, positive value. Okay, if you can visualize a mathematical number line, okay, then we can have negative value as well as positive value. What is temperature in Kelvin? Positive side. Length, positive. Count, always positive. Monetary quantities, money, always positive. Okay. Depth, calendar? Yes. Calendar dates? Yes, anyone? Not in minus. Can we have past? Can we have past dates? Can we have past date? Yeah. Can we have negative length? No. Because negative will become positive with reference to 0 in other direction. Okay. And in case of Kelvin also, Kelvin, temperature in Kelvin, okay, but it will be reference to centigrade. So compared to centigrade, always positive. Compared to Fahrenheit, always positive. Count, compared to 0, always positive. Monetary quantities compared to 0, always positive. Depth is also positive value, but for our understanding, we are writing it negative. Okay, so interval value means we can have negative, positive both, but in case of ratio, Okay, if you look at the data set, then interval value may have positive and negative value both, but ratio will have only positive. Non-negative value, we can say non-negative value. It may be 0. Okay, these are the things that which we are supposed to observe. Okay, we are not going to generate all these things. Whatever we are discussing right now, it is know your data. It is know your data. That what is the how your data looks. Discrete versus continuous attribute. Yes, can anybody give me example of discrete value? And yes, countable is discrete and non-countable is in continuous. Okay, but discrete and continuous will be numeric value. Okay, otherwise it will become nominal. Otherwise it will become nominal. Okay, so here in discrete value, what they have given? Zip code. Okay, so there cannot be zip code like let's say 3360001.2, 36001.5. No. Okay, it will be 36001. Professions. So here profession they will map in number and then discrete value. Discrete means countable or we cannot have intermediate value. Okay, it cannot be like let's say semi-professor or semi-teacher. Okay, either teacher or not. Binary attributes are special case of discrete attribute. How many values are there in binary? 0 and 1. So in computer also 0 and 1. How computer is working? If it is plus 5 volt, then 1, and if it is 0, then 0. Okay, so there is actually something else, that is level triggered flip flop and age triggered flip flops that you might have studied in that. Okay, so if voltage level go beyond a threshold value, then immediately it will be considered as a 1, and if it will go beyond that, then it will be considered as a 0. Yes, digital electronics. Yes, anybody wanted to ask any question? Someone has unmuted. Okay, continuous temperature, height, weight. Okay, so it can be like let's say 60.1, 60.2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and if you are having very good scale, okay, then we can have precision like up to 2 digit, up to 3 digit, up to 4 digit. Okay. Yes. So in example, temperature, height, weight. So in real life scenario, let's say voltage measurement. Voltage measurement is also then current. So those all are the continuous attribute. Yes. No, but you can let's say if we take the example of solar panel. If we take the example of solar panel, then the current, the amount of current generated with the light intensity, it will vary. In our measurement, okay, in our measurement, current is constant. Okay, and what is a principle of electricity? Or you can say electric component, that whatever amount of current will be required, that will be consumed by device itself. Okay, so if I will give 15 ampere or if I will give 20 ampere, to a 2 ampere device, then also it will consume only 2 ampere. Okay, so ideally current will not cause much problem, but voltage will cause problem. Okay, if it is 5 volt device and I will give you 20 volt, there will be blast, firecrackers. I have blown lots of capacitors. If it is 5 volt capacitor and you, yeah, give 12 volt, yes, in the entire room there will be snow. We used to play with capacitor, 12 volt capacitor that we can tolerate. So charge it and then throw at someone. Yes, let's move forward. After knowing, you can say the type of data column, that which type of column is that. We should move forward that what is its, you can say pattern. What is its pattern? Or what is its pattern in mathematical feature space? So motivation behind doing all this thing, okay, means to understand the data is to know the central tendency, then variation and distribution in the mathematical feature space. Which are the things that we are going to discuss under this, understanding the data? So for data dispersion, means distribution, median, max, mean, quartile range, outlier, variance, etc. Can anybody tell me, last semester in Python I have given you one program, 5 value summary. For each numerical column, find out. No, it is only 1 and 2. So still we are having 8 minutes. And I know it when to take attendance. In last semester, I have given you one program. For given data set, for each numerical column, find out minimum, maximum, average. In pandas, we have discussed quintile. Huh? Yes, in library function, quintile was there. 0.10, 0.20, 0.30, 0.40, 0.50, 60, yes, if you people can recall. So we will see, don't worry. We will see it visually. Then numerical dimension, so it corresponds to sorted intervals, and data dispersion we will discuss, analyze with the multiple granularities of precision. So if we are having value in between, let's say 0 and 0.1, then obviously we have to go with the higher precision. We cannot normalize it to either 0 or 0.1. Okay, so that we will see what is numerical dimension, box plot and quintile analysis on sorted interval, that we are going to see, and dispersion analysis on computed measures. So this also we are going to see in upcoming slide. Okay, so just if you people can remember the name, then also it is sufficient, because all these terms you will find in statistical analysis of data set. In statistical analysis of data set. I think that subject is in 5th semester. You will have that subject in 5th semester. There are various problem solving techniques. No, we are on time. We are on proper track, because first you people will study decision making problem, and then you will go with optimization problem. Okay, because once you will study decision making problem, then you will be able to understand what is optimization problem. Okay. For example, if I give you example of decision making problem, insert an element in linked list. So that is definitely going to be inserted. Okay. But if I will tell you that sort a linked list. Okay, sort a linked list. Okay. Is it a fixed time problem? Is it a fixed time problem? That in 100 element will be sorted in 1 second and 1000 element will be sorted in let's say 10 seconds? No. Yes, it depends on data. It depends on data. So those kind of problem are known as optimization problem. If I will give you example of, if I give you another problem, example of optimization problem, traveling salesperson problem. We used to we used to discuss one problem where one definition was given that you have to find out a path. You will be given a set of city, okay, and you have to find out a path in such a way that the total amount of travel distance should be minimum. All the cities must be visited, and yes, that is traveling salesperson problem. Okay, so that problem still exists. Still, Amul Dairy need a distribution solution. Okay, still till today also, Amul Dairy is looking for milk collection route in such a way that in minimum distance they will cover maximum or you can say all the center only once. Yes. So these are the optimization problem. Okay, so one solution will not work for large scale problem. Okay, so machine learning is also belonging to the optimization problem. It is not decision making problem. Okay, one algorithm will not work on all data set. Okay, and if that same algorithm is giving you 80% accuracy, and if you will just adjust some parameter of algorithm, then it may drop to 20%, or it may go up to 90%. So let's keep up to this in this lecture. Okay, we will discuss more in upcoming sessions. Present student, put your attendance in chat box.